Welcome back to the Resource Nexus Podcast. Today we're diving into the rankings. Before we get started, a quick shout out to new listeners. What you're about to hear isn't just opinion or hype. It's all based on rigorous data from my custom model that evaluates roster strength, player performance, and overall team dynamics with measurable stats. For the full team and player rankings, check out the resourcenexus.com. The ratings I'll reference are built to capture production across all levels, factoring in player roles, pace of play, and quality of opponents. This goes way beyond simple scoring averages, and it's about possession efficiency, lineup fit, and true impact on winning games. So let's get into it with the top-rated mid-major in the country, Gonzaga. Nationally, they come in at number 5 with a team rating of 3.7 in our model. When I think mid-major, some schools feel closer to Power 5 territory in resources and foundation. Take Dayton, for example. To me, that's more like a mid or lower Power 5 job than a typical Atlantic 10 gig. Creighton used to be in that category. Wichita State flirted with it too. USF and Grand Canyon have the students' money and potential to push toward that level. But Gonzaga, that's a different animal. It's a smaller private school, and honestly, they've gotten a bit lucky that one guy, Mark Few, decided to stick around and coach for about $2 million a year while passing on gigs paying 3 to 5 times that. I wonder what happens when he's no longer there. But honestly, they don't quite have the fan base or resources of a Creighton or a true Power 5 program. Gonzaga basically built its brand on Few's tenure. That's not the typical model. And as resources even out nationally, they risk sliding toward the Butler model. Every mid-major is a Laval Jordan or Brandon Miller away from that reality. Long term, I think Gonzaga needs to find a way. The Pac-12 makes the most sense. That keeps them relevant and sustainable once Few is gone. Now, onto the players. There's real upside here if Graham Ike and Braden Huff get expanded roles. Ike's our number 5 overall player, carrying a massive 5.6 rating. Huff, often flying under the radar, is ranked 105th nationally with a solid 3.7. Keep your eye on Mario Saint-Superi. He's ranked 26th with a 5.0 rating. This guy was ridiculously productive in Spain's ACB league, arguably the second toughest league in the world. He posted an 18% playing just 15 minutes per game. For context, Tyne Grant Foster had a 19 PR in the much weaker NCAA league. Saint-Superi and my international translation system are new this year, but I'm confident in them. He's the kind of player who could blow past the hype if given the green light. It's the opposite story with Huff and Ike. They have sky-high ceilings if Few decides to give them 10 more minutes a game. Imagine Ike playing 32 minutes like he did at Wyoming. That's an extra gear few teams have. Depth-wise, Gonzaga is borderline absurd. Jalen Warley, Jar 228, Adam Miller, 287, and Tyne Grant Foster, 388, all bring pedigree and upside. Further down, Davis Vogel, Braden Smith, and Steele Venters are rotation pieces most mid-majors would kill for. Talent, length, depth, Gonzaga's roster could absolutely dominate the WCC. The only question is how they manage minutes, but if it clicks, their ceiling is as high as anyone outside the power conferences. All right, shifting gears to San Diego State. They're clocking in at number 34 nationally with a team rating of 2.7. You already know the blueprint here: elite defense, physicality, and guards that make life a living nightmare for opposing ball handlers. This year's core features Miles Bird, ranked number 74 with a 3.9 rating. Bird's got legit two-way versatility and should see a usage bump, which could elevate this team's overall game. Then there's Magoon Gwadney, not far behind at number 178, rated 3.3. He's a tough piece on both ends. Don't overlook B.J. Davis, sitting at number 283 with a 2.8 rating, a shifty guard who brings just enough shot creation to keep defenses honest. And Reese Dixon Waters, even if his impact hasn't matched the name value, still clocks in at number 324 with a 2.7 rating. One user nailed it. They'll ugly up games and win more than they probably should. That's fair. The Aztecs are never an easy out, and with continuity on their side, their floor is as high as ever. Up next, Utah State. They come in at number 41 nationally, rated 2.8, with two clear cornerstones. Mason Falslev at number 72 with a 3.9 rating, and Ian Martinez at number 98, rated 3.7. Those two form one of the better backcourts in the mid-major landscape, but beyond them, it thins out pretty fast. Carson Templin at number 318, Drake Allen at number 358, and MJ Collins at number 472. These guys will need to step up significantly if Utah State wants to contend at the top of the conference. Our model sees a strong core, but the supporting cast limits their ceiling. They're still a tournament-level team, but winning a game there will depend heavily on whether one or two of these rotation guys can over-deliver. Rounding out this group is St. Mary's, ranked number 47 nationally with a team rating of 2.3. Look, I once doubted a Randy Bennett team, not making that mistake again. This squad doesn't look quite as loaded as the last 2 years, but betting against St. Mary's usually leaves you with a red face. Here's the truth. Everyone sucks until they hire a good coach. If UNC or Louisville hire bums, they'll suck too. You could say the same about Gonzaga and Butler, who didn't even make an NCAA tournament until the 90s, St. Mary's included. You hire a winner, you win. Good coaches figure out a way, even at places like this, and to build consistency and win more than they did before moving on. Breakout candidate Harry Wessels, rated 2.8, ranked number 289, has another gear he hasn't been allowed to show yet. If this is the year they unleash him, it could be a total game changer. Paulius Morauskas at number 94 with a 3.8 rating gives them a proven scorer to lean on. Mikey Lewis down at number 410, and Jazz Gardner and Mantas Juzanis are intriguing pieces, but depth remains the real concern. Still, it's St. Mary's. They always seem to find that sophomore with a weird name who ends up torching your bracket come March. Now, in the Mountain West with Boise State, Rice has hit that sweet spot of sustained consistency where bad seasons just aren't a thing anymore. Even with some roster turnover, I don't expect much of a drop-off this year. He's got two anchors returning, Javan Buchanan, ranked 303rd nationally with a 2.7 rating, and Roddy Meadow, both of whom bring star power and valuable continuity. Drew Fielder is back as well, coming in at 473rd with a 2.2 rating, and Dylan Andrews joins the mix ranked 514th nationally at 2.1. It's a solid nucleus. In a landscape where overall college basketball talent is dipping thanks to the end of the super senior era, just staying steady might be enough to stay competitive. Sliding over to the AAC, Memphis sits 57th nationally with a 2.6 rating. But here's the thing. The numbers didn't love them last year, and frankly, I think the metrics were spot on. Everything broke perfectly in the non-conference schedule, but once AAC play started, they looked chaotic, which honestly kind of tracks for a Penny Hardaway team. The big X factor is Dane Danger, ranked 52nd nationally with a 4.3 rating, but that's contingent on a waiver. If he doesn't get cleared, this roster gets a lot more questionable. Sincere Parker is ranked 273rd at 2.8. Aaron Bradshaw, a former top recruit, slots in at 325 with a 2.7. Doug McDaniel comes in at 333 with a 2.7. There's talent on paper, but the trust level? Let's just say I'm not investing in Memphis stock until Penny proves he can create some stability. Now let's talk South Florida, sitting at 65th with a 2.1 team rating. Don't let the name brand fool you. This is a quietly dangerous team. Hodgson already proved himself at Arkansas State, posting a top 85 season and taking Arkansas State from 300 plus to respectability. Now he's bringing some of those same ingredients to USF. Random note from the message boards. Some fans wondered what Brian Hodgson got paid at USF. This isn't Memphis or Gonzaga money, but it's probably among the highest paying jobs outside the Power 5. They were paying Brian Gregory top 80 level money so expect that kind of investment here. Damian Collins, formerly of Kentucky, ranks 264th nationally with a 2.8 rating. Isaiah Nelson and Wes Ennis both check in around the 2.5 mark, ranking 364 and 376 nationally, respectively. Joseph Pinion adds depth with a 2.0 rating, while C.J. Brown brings some continuity from last year's team. They've also landed one of the best players from Division II, plus Collins, who was sneakily efficient during his time in the SEC. USF might not have a storied basketball tradition, but they're quietly one of the richest mid-major programs in the country. There's a real foundation being built here. San Francisco is up next, checking in at 66 nationally with a team rating of 2.1. This program has become one of the quietest success stories in the mid-major world. Since Kyle Smith started the trend and Todd Golden kept it rolling, they've now had 7 straight top 100 finishes. Ger Lufsen, now entering his 4th year, has done an excellent job as head coach. Frankly, I'm surprised he hasn't been poached by a Power 5 program yet. If he wants one, it feels like only a matter of time. As for the roster, Tyrone Riley comes in at 307th nationally with a 2.7. Ryan Beasley is ranked 485 with a 2.2. Carlton Lingward is right there too, also at 2.2 with a OB Egg ranking. You've got Endewedo Newberry and David Fuchs, both rated at 2.0. It's a deep and balanced group, but very much on brand for San Fran. Let's pick things up with Nevada, checking in at 74th nationally with a 2.1 team rating. The Wolfpack have a star in Vaughn Weems, who ranks 235th nationally with a 3.0 rating. He's the kind of player that can carry you to the right side of the bubble, especially in a Mountain West that's thinning just a bit post-Super Senior era. George Washington is next, and there's legit reason to be excited in Foggy Bottom. Rafael Castro, ranked 243rd with a 2.9 rating, is one of the top mid-major players in the country. He'll lead what I think is Chris Caputo's best team yet, and honestly, maybe GW's best since the Mike Lonergan era. The team rating is a solid 1.9, good for 88th nationally. There's upward mobility here if Castro gets some consistent help around him. Right behind them at 76th is Dayton, also rated 2.1. Even with roster changes, this program has a way of staying relevant, especially when they've got some size and shooting. No top 300 players here, but they've earned the benefit of the doubt as a consistently well-run program. At 80th nationally, we've got St. Louis, and here's where it gets fun. Robbie Avila, yes, that Avila, comes in at 113th in the country with a 3.6 rating. He's easily one of the most entertaining and unique bigs in college basketball. Great touch, high IQ, and just unbothered by conventional pace. If you don't appreciate Avila, you probably don't enjoy basketball. SLU's team rating is a solid 2.2, and he gives them a real ceiling if the supporting cast holds up. Next up, Loyola Chicago at 81st with a 2.1 rating. They bring in Alexander Richardson, ranked 291st nationally at 2.8. Not a household name yet, but he fits their mold. High effort, positionally versatile, and productive. After a bit of a post-Valentine slump, this could be a rebound year. New Mexico comes in at 87th with a 1.8 rating, but the individual talent, it's there. Antonio Chaul ranks 216th nationally with a 3.1 rating. Definitely a name to know. He's one of the most promising offensive wings at the mid-major level. Liberty sits at 90th with a 1.7 team rating, still adjusting to life in Conference USA, but they've maintained their defensive identity and cohesion. Right behind them, Santa Clara at 91st with the same 1.7 rating. They've got a gem in Elijah Mahi, who clocks in at 226th nationally with a 3.0 rating. Santa Clara continues to thrive off of under-the-radar talent and international scouting. George Mason is at 92nd, coming in with a 1.7, but the Atlantic 10 is ripe for someone to rise, and they've got the facilities and fan base to do it. VCU lands at 93rd nationally with a 1.9 team rating, and yes, they've got a big-time piece in Tyrell Ward, ranked 263rd with a 2.9. Ward's a former high major recruit with real two-way ability. If the light stays on, VCU becomes a very real threat in the A10. At 94th nationally, we've got Grand Canyon sitting with a 1.9 team rating. They bring back Jaden Henley, a top 250 player, at 248 with a 2.9 rating. He is a perfect system fit for what Bryce Drew likes to run. Wichita State is 95th and actually rated a touch higher at 2.0. Corey Washington, ranked 246th with a 2.9 rating, headlines the group. He's a strong physical forward who can carry the load if the Shockers figure out their guard play. Charleston comes in at 96th, but with one of the strongest non-P6 rosters in the CAA. They're sitting on a 2.0 team rating and have quietly become one of the steadiest mid-majors on the East Coast. Oregon State, yes, now in the WCC, checks in at 99th. Keziah Ikisi ranks 234th nationally with a 3.0 rating. This transition to a mid-major league gives him a real chance to shine as a dominant interior presence. At 100, we close out this segment with UC Santa Barbara, coming in with a 1.8. They've got Aiden Mahaney, who ranks 277th nationally with a 2.8. Before we wrap this block, let me give a shout out to a few other top 300 mid-major guys that didn't make the team cut but deserve recognition. The best players to keep an eye on, not on a top 100 team. Several of these teams are really close, however. Chase Walker at Illinois State, ranked 220th with a clean 3.0. Jeremiah Cherry, Sacramento State, 248th, 2.9. Jamel Jones, New Mexico State, 275th, 2.8. Frank Mitchell, St. Bonaventure, 276th, 2.8. BJ Davis, San Diego State, 283rd, 2.8. Vacian Alette, UTSA, 286th, 2.8. Roman Doman, Murray State, 292nd, 2.8. These are names that will show up in box scores all season. Keep an eye on them, whether you're a bracketologist or just someone looking for value on a Tuesday night slate. Let's take a second to talk about a team I didn't expect to be mentioning in the same breath as impressive offseason. And yet, here we are. Radford. Yeah, I was skeptical of the coaching hire at first. Thought it might be one of those, let's just keep the program afloat type deals. But man, they crushed the portal, like analytically surgical. Easily one of the best off seasons I've seen relative to their level. They're sitting at 119th in the national rankings, and honestly, I think they're going to be better than Seton Hall. No joke. I've said it before, but Shaheen Holloway might want to call up whoever's handling Radford's recruiting operation. Because if you're spending $1.5 million, you should probably be landing players like this, not the ones Seton Hall's bringing in. Let's talk about why I'm this bullish. They didn't just grab random pieces. They fit. They shoot it. They got positional size. And you can tell their staff knows how to build a modern roster. It's got the fingerprints of someone who comes from an analytics-first background. Now, as far as the numbers, the model doesn't love them yet, but I could absolutely see them finishing around the top 100 once it all clicks. The shooting, the lineup versatility, the experience, and it's all there. The only real unknown is how you rate a first-year head coach with limited experience. Here's what they brought in. Jaylon Johnson, 6-foot senior from Tennessee Tech, averaged 14.3 points and 4.8 assists. Tyson Brown, 6'9" forward from Georgia Southern, 7.3 points, 6.8 boards, and a PER of 19.5. Just a reliable interior piece. Louis Jordan, another 6'9" senior from UMBC, not flashy, but 7.5 points, nearly 4 boards, and hit shots at a solid clip. Third in the nation in three-point percentage at 48.8. Dennis Parker Jr. coming in from NC State, solid wing that was getting 15 minutes a game on the Final Four team. Brennan Rigsby, a combo guard that was very good at Oregon. Del Jones from Clemson, who was in the rotation as a freshman for a top 25 type team. Frederick Eriksson, who averaged 12.5 points in Germany's Pro B League. This is what building a cohesive, modern mid-major looks like. Radford isn't just collecting talent, they're constructing a roster. It's intentional, it's thoughtful, and it's way ahead of where anyone thought they'd be when the hire was made. Don't be shocked when they start creeping up the rankings. The pieces are in place. And if the coach can actually coach, yeah, it's game on in the Big South with High Point. And that wraps up this segment of the Resource Nexus Podcast. Thanks for tuning in and diving into the numbers with me. Stay tuned for the next part where we'll break down more conferences and teams and uncover what the data really says about the upcoming season. Don't forget to visit theresourcenexus.com for the full rankings and deeper insights. Until next time, keep questioning, keep analyzing, and keep loving the game. All right, that's a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you got some good insights. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who'd find it useful. And don't forget to check out theresourcenexus.com for more in-depth analysis. Until next time, check you later.
Cool. Guess we'll see you around.
All right, check you later.
Bye.
Wait, man, why are you always such a dork, man?
What are you talking
Check
about?
you later. Check you later.